Hi friends, welcome to WebJump. In this video, I am going to discuss how to integrate Power Automate in Power Apps. So obviously what we can do is we can use Power Apps to create an application to submit a data, right? But if you want to do something, if you want to perform some kind of action, when the any kind of event happens in the Power Apps, so how you will be able to do that? This is what we are going to see. Right. So what we will do is, meaning by using Power Automate integration with Power Apps, you will be able to extend the functionality of your application by automating the workflows, automating the approvals or notification or data synchronization across the different or external services. So Power Apps will become a front end for you and Power Automate will become a back end for you. Power Automate will work as an meaning the workflow engine behind the Power Apps. So people who are using the app, they won't be able to understand how these things are happening. But yes, the developer knows how the logic to be built. And this is what we are going to see. So key ways of this integration is trigger the flow from application. Yes, you are able to trigger the flow from Power Apps button. By simply clicking the button, you will be able to trigger the flow. You can pass the data between app and then flow. So you can pass the data to the Power Apps back after the flow execution. Kind of things can be done. You can pass data from Power Apps to the Power Automate to do something or use that data into the actions. Then approval automation you can do so when users submit a leave request or expense approval or purchase order, so it should go to the approval for the approver authority who has that. Then notification and alert. If you want to send an email or Teams or SMS notification to the users when something is happening in the Power Apps, you will be able to do that using the Power Apps. Sorry, Power Automate. And yes, data integration is nothing but synchronization data between Power Apps and external systems like SharePoint, SQL, Dynamics 365, and Salesforce. So how to do this setup? So first of all, we will create app, then we will create a flow. Then let's see how we can connect flow to app and then handle the responses, right? So example scenario, we can consider that leave request application. Okay, for the demonstration purpose, this is the easiest possible way, but you can take this example to achieve something else in the different field also. So if I come to the Power App and if I search for the mex.powerapps.com, so this is what my Power Apps URL and this is what my Power Automate URL. This make dot is used for the developer purpose, right? So if you come to the Power Apps, okay, if you come to the Power Apps, if you come to, so here in this see example, I'm going to use Dataverse as a data source. So here I have a table called employee and there is something called employee leaves, right? So these two tables are there. Employees table has a data. Employee leave table is not filled with any data, or we can say that none of the employee has applied for the leave, right? So now how to handle this, how to create this? You see here, there is a column called employee. If I go and if I say edit, so you will be able to see it is showing this column. This is the business required, is searchable, everything, and then allow form fill assistance. Okay. And this is based on the relationship, this value is coming. So this here again, it will show the employee IDs from the related table. And you need to fill this value. See, when you fill the value here, it will bring all the records from the other table, from the related table, meaning the details about the employee name, designation, department, salary, whatever the details available in the table, it will be able to bring here and you can use that. So let me show you that details first, just for the time being. Okay, so here you can see employee status is there, salary is there, department is there, email ID is there, employee ID and name is there, and date of joining is available. Right. So we have to create a canvas application, model driven application. We will be able to add the flows directly. Okay, there is no hard to add the flow, but yes. So let me start with the canvas application. I have selected canvas blank application, and if you want to create a page for employee, you will be able to create. So we will see that also. Okay, to save the time, I'm not going to use the complete development. So I will go ahead with the shortest way, that is with data application development using the employee as a source, right? So I selected this. And this will create a CRUD application. So if you want to create new employee or edit the employee details, this screen can be used. So I will say EMP employee details, right? Then I would like to add a new screen. Okay, so let me say blank screen, and here I will say employee leaves. So on this screen, I don't want to go and create that, but yes. Okay, so if I say leaves, employee leaves, I will use this and then I'll delete the component. Just to save my time, I'm using the default way to build the application, or rapid development, we can say, or data first approach can be referred to this way. So I don't need all this. I need this table container and I don't need this body container. I don't want to use this one. I'm going to customize this. Right. So inside this, I can again say a container, blank container, and now I can add the components here. So if I click on this, you will be able to see I am able to add this text. This is the employee ID. So I'm designing a form to submit a leave request. Right. Then I will select text input. This is my text input. Here, default should be nothing. And if you want to add the placeholder, for this or text is, there is something called a placeholder that can be used to give the hint, or there might be default format hint text. Okay, so in HTML that is called a placeholder. HTML CSS, here it is hint. So enter employee ID, right? So this will be the field. Now next is I would like to use the text label, and here I will use date. Here I will use date. I can say leave date, and then I can select the date picker. Right, so by default value is today, but we can change this. So date picker is going to return a date, right? Then let's say one last field is type of leave, right? So leave type, I can say leave type, right? And yes, this should come from the database. So I can use the choice type or drop down here, right? This is the drop down. And then I can say employee leaves dot. Okay, so I would like to pass the values of this column. So let me open the table. So I can say make.powerapps.com. So that is a choice type column. So I would like to give the choice here. And tables, customs. If I go to the custom, then employee leaves. And I created a leave types. Right. So this is what the column I'm going to refer here. Leave types, leave employee. But this way we can't use here. Items, then I will use the choices function. We can use choices and then we can pass the column name as employee leave. Oh, not this one. Employee leaves dot leave type. Okay. So this is how it gives us options to select. Right. So we are able to enter the employee ID. Okay. If you want to automate this, you can bound it to the user. You will be able to use the user and you can bring the employee ID based on the user from your Office 365 user table. So what you need to do is you need to add the tables here. So not this, add data and you can say users. Okay, so Office 365 user, this table will have all your details about the employee from your company. So you can use this, but I'm not going to do that here. Okay, fine. Now I would like to submit this form. Okay, I would like to submit this form. So I can insert the button, right? And here I can say instead of button, submit leave request. Okay. Okay, this is my button and this is what the thing I will be able to. Here again, if you wants to bound this to the list of employee, if you want to give the drop down, you will be able to do this and you can say choices of employee dot employee ID column expected a text value. Oh, so what is this going to return then? Okay, since this is not the value, I can even say distinct. Let me try distinct function, then employee and employee IDs. Oh, sorry. This we can't bound this because this is going to return a table, and here we need a text ID. So this is fine. So let me enter the employee IDs and all. So I can have the details here. Everybody knows their own employee ID, right? But let's say I wanted to submit the details. I wanted to submit the detail for the first employee only. So this is for the EMP 1000. And I have to write a function. So obviously, since this is Canvas application, so we are going to submit a record employee leaves. And since we are going to submit a new request, so I will say employee leaves. And then here I would like to bound all these values to the column name. So employee ID is equals to, you can go to the tree view, you can find the whatever the field is used here to this container. Okay, so text input 1. So here, if you want to make the changes, you can say employee ID. Then I can say leave date. And then I can say leave type. Okay. So labels I'm not going to edit, but yes. So here I can say now employee ID. This is what the shortest name I used. Then give the comma. Okay, give the comma. And the next field is, okay, next field is leave date. So you can say leave date. Okay. So leave date, type selected date. And here again, I forgot to pass the type as a text. And then next is let's say leave type is equals to leave type dot selected text. So leave type does not match the expected option set value. Leave type leaves found record. Okay, selected text dot value. Okay, I'm just trying to get it. Okay, selected edit text dot. Okay, there is nothing. Yeah, this is text box. And okay, so let me try removing this. Just wanted to see where the error is. Selected the date. Okay, so these two things are going to work for me. Then that is the next is choice type column. So yes, so I will say leave type is equals to leave type dot selected dot value. Okay, so this is how selected text, instead of selected text, I can use this one value. So I wanted to return the value. So this is going to submit a value to this. Okay, but one more thing, if I try to submit this, this will throw error because we need something else also. So we need that related table also for the employees. Okay, for the employees of employees table details, how you can bring here. So if I submit the details for EMP001, leave date and leave type everything, then how you will, how relationship will, if you forgot to add this value. So this is what I made business required. So you are supposed to pass the value here only. And then I can say employee is equals to, and since this is a lookup column, you should use lookup. Okay, source is this, and then employee ID is equals to empid dot text, and then result will be employee ID from the Okay. So this type of employee does not match the expected type record. Found text. Okay. So we have to return. So last parameter is not needed, looks like, because it is a lookup column. Okay, it is fine. So it is going to add that value. So when I submit. So now it's time to play the app. Before that, let me say leave request app. Okay, this is saving. Okay, so I'm just saving the application. I'm not going to publish it. I'll test it and then I might be go. So EMP 1000. Okay, today is the date, sick leave. And if I say submit, so you can see the data got submitted. Now, if I come here, if I refresh this, you will be able to see the data here. Right? So this is what the data I submitted sometime before. And how this is going to help now. Now, if you want to use this relationship in model driven, so you will be able to customize the views where you, based on this employee ID, you will be able to map the details about the employee to the view. Or based on this, you will be able to fetch the other records also. So this is what the way to submit. But let's say when this got submitted, I wanted to trigger a approval flow, or I wanted to send a notification email. Okay, so single I'm just going to create a single flow, and I'll just show you how to integrate. So I will say create flow and instant cloud flow. Okay, so test power automate integration in Power Apps, right? And this is the Power App. When Power Apps calls flow, this is what the trigger we should use. Then I will say, okay. So what is going to happen? So when user submit, okay, so we can take an input and all everything, that is fine. But I would like to send an email, right? I would like to send an email to the employee that you have submitted a new request. Okay, send an email v2 to whom it should go. So I'm for the time being, I will use my name only. Okay, but here we can pass the user dot email id, or we can uh take it from the. Okay, so this is the text. So I will say email and enter your input. So make this field, add multiple, add drop down list. Okay, I don't want to do this. So let me use this. This is my email ID. Okay, so I will use here a dynamic expression, and this is what my email. Sorry. So if you want to trigger the flow from Power Automate, right? So you should always create a Power Automate flow. I mean, instant flow, instant cloud flow to use this. Now this flow is here. I would like to see after submission of this, I would like to run this flow. So I can say test Power App integration dot run. And here, if you want to pass the parameters, you can pass the parameters also. Okay, so what this says, invalid number of argument received. Okay, and here expected one. So here we used one parameter there, and here we should pass the email ID as in text, and okay, so let me say Brahma Bachute @gmail.com. Okay, this is what the value we are going to pass. So when we trigger, this email will be received here, and so here I would like to make it dynamic. Okay, so I'm going to receive email from there. Okay, let for the testing purpose, let me keep this as it is. So here, if we think to okay, so here, okay, so let me say when Power Apps call, right? So here I can create a variable also, because whatever the value will be passed. So this is like email, and this is of type string. Okay, I don't want to use this one default parameter. Let me delete this and ask Power Automate something kind of thing I would like to use. Okay, there is nothing available, but I should receive the value from this flow. So this is where I should see ask in Power Apps. So there is nothing called ask in Power Apps. But I wanted to pass the parameter also so that we can send an email to the specific. So here what you need to do is you need not to assign any value, whatever the parameter. See here, if you created a first input, here if you create another input, okay, as an email, see here email to and all. So this will be picked, meaning this is the first parameter, this will be the second parameter, this will be the third parameter. And if you remove this, don't pass anything, but you have to pass the values from there. So leave date we are going to pass, email we are going to pass, the employee ID if you want to pass, you will be able to pass. So I will say employee ID. Okay, right. And this is what the way. Earlier, there was a different mechanism to receive the variables or parameters from the flow, but now we need not to do that. And what we need to do is let's edit this. So here, email ID I'll pass as a second parameter. So first I will pass employee ID. Oh, sorry. This empid dot text. This is what my first parameter. Okay, what it says, you can see received to expected one. Oh, the flow is not updated. So let me refresh this or let me save. Okay, it is already saved with the new parameter, but not sure. So whatever the changes we have made, to reflect this, you should always refresh the flow. Here, now what it says is you can see expected 3, you passed 2. Then I can say leave date dot selected date. Right. So all these parameters I passed. I wanted to send an email. I wanted to use those parameters in the email body. Okay. So I can say, so leave request submitted. And here I will use that as a date. Okay. And here, instead of this, I should use the email to whom this email should go, and leave submitted requested for the date. And the next parameter is, okay, employee ID. So has submitted a leave request. So you can pass the type of leave also to customize all these things. Okay, I don't want to do much things, so I have updated a flow. Let me refresh the flow here, and now let's try to submit the record. Let me play the application. Before that, let me save the application. And let me play the application. Okay, so I will say 001, and this will be the date of leave, and then this will be the type of leave. If I submit this, okay, it says input body for the trigger manual of request did not match its schema definition. 1223 does not validate against a date format. Why? Sometime before it worked, right? And if I use, let's say, 8th as a date, and if I try to submit, still this is not working. Okay, something went bad then. And then selected date dot, okay. Oh, there might be, here it is, it might be the issue. This is of the type date only, right? So date and this, okay, this is the issue. This, okay, let me delete this parameter not to spend the much time on this. We will use two parameters only, and let me remove this. Okay, we need to do a conversion, or we need to handle that error. using the date functions and all. I already discussed how to transform the dates in the Power Automate and all. You should watch my playlist to get that done. Right. So here, if I come in the run function, okay, I should not pass this, and these two values I'm passing. And yes, let me refresh this. Okay, this got fixed. Let me save, let me play the application, and let me hit the submit button. Okay, now again I am going to submit it for the 16. Okay, I think it got submitted. Let me refresh this data. EMP001 1216 is the date. Right, so these mini requests you will be able to see here. Whatever the number of tried I did, 1216 paid leaves, and this is what the record got added. Right. Whether my flow is executed or not, you will be able to see here because we are sending an email. So you need to open the Outlook. Outlook is the default application that is used. Okay. So last email you will be okay. It is not sending. Yeah, it has sent. Okay. For 1216, this is what the latest email gone is, it has submitted. So we are able to pass the data. Okay, we are able to pass the values to the parameter, whatever the parameter we have created here, and we are able to receive in the same sequence you should pass. Okay, you should not pass here. You can pass your own values, but that will be default. But if you pass the value from app, he will be able to receive it into that variable, and that will be replaced, and then you can use those values for the in your further flows to perform something whatever you want to do. Right. If you want to send back something that if I go to the Power Apps, so let me search for the Power Apps. So actions you will be able to see first trigger we use. So respond to Power App is there, and add an output text. So let me say message. I can say message. So I'm going to pass the respond, and here I will pass the text only that email has been sent. Right. So this is what I did, and I wanted to send it back. Okay. So respond to Power App operation, your flow container response that does not reference any data from the flow run. This will make whoever is triggering the flow to wait unnecessarily for the flow to reach your response action. Okay. So this is just a warning. It's not like because we are not passing anything here. So and okay, anything from your flow you will be able to return, but I don't want to do this. This is what the message I would like to pass. So let's save. This is not a error. This is just a warning. So you can ignore. And to receive that, okay. So whenever you are receiving, you are going to get a response from this. So what you need to do is you need to set the result. Okay. You need to set the variable as an response or any name will be fine. Response, and this is going to return a response. Right. Then I will say notify and then response. Okay, this is what, okay, in the notification, I would like to say notification type notification.success, and timeout is like 1,000 or 3,000. Okay, 3,000 meaning 300, sorry, 3 seconds. So 3 milliseconds. That value we are passing in milliseconds. Now let me say this is the 10. paid leave. Okay. And if I submit this, you will be able to see this is returning true and false. This is returning a value in true and false. But yes, we are able to pass something. We are getting a response, right? And we are getting a response. Response has the value true or false. Okay, so we can give the condition here as this is equals to true or false or kind of thing. So, but yeah, we are able to get the response. Based on this, this notification is handled, or this notification is shown for success message, right? So now here, here I passed a response and that is as a false. Why this has written a false to me? Right. So if you go to the history, all run history sometime before it has run, and you will be able to see what it has written. So if I click on this, object message string, status code email, and this is what the, oh, so I passed a response, response is false, but this parameter should be used to show the message. So message dot type is string, but output dot value. So if I come to this, here I will say response dot okay, let me see the output. Okay, succeeded. Oh, so it is not passing anything as an output. So message, even message is not passed. Body dot message. Okay. So should I use that response dot message? Because we are passing here a text back. And here we are trying to say response dot text. Okay, but yeah, somehow we need to use this. Okay, but the problem is what we are not using the dynamic expression. Looks like that could be the other reason. We are not using value. That's why the warning it was showing the. So I can say this email has been sent to. Okay, this is the text message, right? And then let me refresh this. And then I can say response dot message. Okay, now because dynamic expression was not used, anything from the flow was not used, so it was not showing. So now we can see the email ID, it will show to whom the email has been triggered. Now, if I run this and if I submit this, email has been sent to this. This is how the message can be, or response from the Power Automate to Power Apps can be written. So you can pass any type of value. But the requirement is that you should use only dynamic expression or values from the flows. If you pass your text and all, so that is not going to work. This is what we have observed here. So this is all about the Power Apps and Power Automate integration. I hope you like the content of this video. Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a nice day. Happy learning. Please do not forget to subscribe Webjam.